talking about that over there. I'm showing you stuff, even though it's Singapore. Welcome to my Leica journal. This is a series where I explore a different city and I pop into a different Leica store in that city. They lend me a surprise piece of equipment. That could be a camera, could be a lens, could be both, could be something that's already out, could be something that hasn't been released yet. You'll just have to wait and find out. And in this series, I take the camera out, I give you my first impressions, I give you some photo tips along the way, I show you the city. So I'm hoping either the Q Monochrome or the recently released M11 Monochrome. We'll find out. Another disclaimer here is I'm actually in Singapore not just for this. I'm here to see, I think I can say this on camera because my wife's probably tuned out by now. I'm here to see Korean girl band Blackpink. I know nothing about them. I agreed to do this like about a year ago. I was probably vulnerable because I was like saying something about buying a Leica and she said, oh, let's go see Blackpink. So probably made some sort of couples deal. Anyway, not thrilled about it, but I'm being open. Maybe this is just fate. Could be photographing Blackpink with a black and white camera. We'll see. Okay, guys, so what camera are you giving me? Is that it? Gimme, 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 gimme. All right. Whoa, this is what I wanted. You know, before I came in here, this is kind of what I mentioned, but there's a little 2-for-1 here. So this is the Leica M11 Monochrome. I've never used a monochrome camera, but I've been shooting black and white my whole career, so I'm excited to see how this thing performs. Not just the M11 Monochrome, they've also given me the new 50-1.4 Summilux lens to test out. So, you know, as a 35 guy, it's gonna be fun to test this lens out at the Blackpink concert tonight. So Blackpink, get ready, because I'm coming for you with my black and white camera. All right, so last night did not work out to plan. Apparently, they don't allow cameras in. So my wife was smart, she checked all the details. Glad I didn't bring the camera. First time I'll ever say that. Also, another thing about Singapore and just in general, condensation is real. Air conditioning in the inside, hot, humid outside, always gonna get lens fog. But now we're gonna head out with a friend of mine to CBD. I thought he was like taking me to a place with like marijuana oil. That sounds very old to me, marijuana, it's not what it is, but anyway, it's not, it's a central business district. I'm gonna test this camera out. It's sunrise right now, 5:30, it's before sunrise. So my friend Wilson, he's a camera reviewer, guy I've known for a long time since my photo face-off days. He offered to drive me around, show me around, and I'm gonna look for some architectural shots, street shots, whatever I can find, whatever interests me in black and white terms. All right, this is Wilson. So we could probably expect some building shots.
A lot of building shots.
You know what though, with a black, I'm not normally not into that, but with a black and white camera like this monochrome, I'm excited to just look for light. What are you shooting with today?
Fujifilm X100 original.
All right. There's a lot of crossover with the Fuji and Leica people.
Yeah.
Whenever I post Leica stuff, Fuji people are like, you know what, have you tried the blah, 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 blah? And it only costs blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, fair point. And now we're in the central business district here, and we've got this temple I'm in front of, and Wilson wanted to check this out. No one around, 5:30 in the morning. And I kind of dig that. One of the cool things about photography, one of the things you should try as a photographer is don't go to the spots where everyone's going to at the time everyone's going to those spots. And it gives you an opportunity to get different shots from other people as well. So here I am in this beautiful, colorful temple with all these lanterns with a black and white camera. And this morning in this district, I'm just gonna look for interesting light, architecture. Not a lot of people around, but when I do see them, I'm gonna shoot them. That sounds weird. But yeah, it's really eerily quiet out here. The nice thing about Singapore though is you always feel safe as I say that, so I'm gonna try to rob me. But you know, 5:30 in the morning with expensive gear, yeah, something you have to consider sometimes, certain places, but not in Singapore. Very safe place. Anyway, I'm gonna wander around here, see what I can get, have some fun with this camera. I'm excited to test it out in low light. And that's what this is right now, low to no light. So I'm waiting out my time lapse here, looking at Marina Bay Sands. This is sort of a pretty touristy spot. I see a lot of people with cameras setting up time lapses and stuff like that. But because I'm taking you guys in my little journal, I like to take you to spots that that you might want to see if you come here. You got to see it once, and it's a great spot for sunrise. And so first impressions of this camera are fantastic. I mean, I just love the experience. That's why you buy a Leica. The experience, the process of taking photographs with a particular camera. And this is unique to me. Shooting with a black and white camera, dedicated black and white camera, is completely new to me. And it's just great. Like, there's shots that are color all around me, but this is just making me think and look at things differently. It's making me think in black and white, as weird as that may sound. I know people out there would say, well, you'd push back and say, well, you just switch it to a black and white filter or switch it later, but you know, it's the same thing with my M10D not having a screen. I like that it forces me into discipline, you know, forces me, I don't think I have the willpower to say, oh, if that shot's good in color, I'm gonna switch back. So I like that this forces me into those habits. So it's the kind of camera that you take out for street photography and just focus on black and white, which is great. And it's not something I could use professionally typically, because most of my clients won't put up with strictly black and white, but as an amateur or pro that just wants to work on their own projects and their passion projects, what a great camera this is. I mean, dedicated black and white sensor, beautiful M body system experience. And then another thing is just using this 50mm lens. I've always been a 35 guy. If you've watched my channel, you know I'm a 35 guy. 35 Summilux, favorite lens I've ever had. 35 throughout every camera system I've ever used, always been my go-to. So this new 50-1.4 Summilux, it's incredibly sharp first impressions. I haven't tested the files yet, obviously. I'm just kind of wandering about. It's also hard, just to tell you guys, it's hard to get good shots while you're also filming yourself, doing B-roll, doing time lapses, doing an Insta360 camera. No excuses, but you know, you can't really focus as much as I wanted to. But I like the limitations of a 50 too. I'm not gonna lie. I've been digging the 50 experience. This is an unbelievable 50. I mean, yes, you get the Noct Deluxe, but it's a little bit heavy for me. So having this 50-1.4 with this low light sensor, it's a great combo for street photography, but even travel photography, if you're disciplined enough, you don't always need to go wide. So far so good here. I'm not getting great shots, but I'm enjoying the experience using the camera so far. I'm not really putting myself in great positions to get great shots, but it's the kind of camera I would strongly consider purchasing and adding to my kit. Having one M10D color camera and one black and white is very, very tempting. But I could also see going with a Q monochrome as well, just to have something a little bit different, a little bit lighter and smaller, but I don't know, I'm such an M person. Leica, you don't make it easy, I have to say. It's very complicated with all your different options out there. You're smart, you're like Apple. I want all your products, but it gets pricey. Tell me your name.
Dita.
Dita, where are you from?
Indonesia, Jakarta.
And you're a photographer?
No, it's just a hobby.
All right, well, I'm testing the Leica M11 Monochrome right now,
Okay.
and I want to test the minimum focal distance with this 50mm lens, so you can focus now 45 centimeters compared to 70 on the old one. So do you mind if I take a quick portrait of you here?
Sure.
With sort of the Marina Bay Sands in the background, so if you could just sort of look off that way towards the light a tiny bit. And I'm just gonna get close. Sorry, I know I met you like 8 seconds ago, but let's see what I could do here. Very nice. Do one with like, close your mouth, just like a closed mouth smile. All right, perfect. Very nice, I got the Marina Bay Sands. Keep looking that way for me. And then, can I try one without your glasses, just to see your eyes a little bit? Perfect. Wonderful. Hold that for me. Let me just test this, make sure I got my exposure right. Let's have a look. Yeah, wow, cool. I mean, I'll send this to you if you want. You got the Marina Bay Sands.
Nice.
Cool. All right, what a difference light makes. So, just finishing up here, gonna head back to my hotel, have some breakfast. Oh, I'm sweaty. It's hot in Singapore. Just another little tip for you guys out there. You know, a lot of people are a little bit shy approaching strangers on the street to take portraits of them, and I understand that, and I get that. It's kind of a weird thing to do, but if you're gonna approach anyone, a good target would be, you know, someone else with a camera. Like we just approached that girl for a portrait. I wanted to do a little test with the 50, and I saw she had a nice camera, so usually photographers are a lot more willing. So if you see someone with a camera, like me, probably a lot more willing to pose for you. Maybe not me. No, I'm pretty willing. I'm a ham for the camera. Anyway, just a little tip there for people that are a little bit shy photographing people on the street. You see a fellow photographer, they're probably a lot more willing because they understand what it's like. So there's my tip of the day. All right, guys, before I wrap up and give you my final thoughts about the Leica M11 Monochrome, I just want to give you a quick tour of the presidential suite here at the Intercontinental Singapore. They've been kind enough to sponsor this episode, to put me up, to give me my food, and then to put me up in this room, but I still had a beautiful room. But this is the presidential suite, and I figured my Leica audience might like this as well, just because it sort of fits in with that theme of the Leica luxury lifestyle. And this here, the presidential suite, is 259 square meters. This is the master bedroom right here. It cost about 3,000 Sing dollars per night, give or take a little bit, depending on the season, plus depending on tax and things like that. So you head into here, into the master bathroom. You've got your own sauna, ridiculous, your own bathtub, plenty of space, 2 sinks, nice shower, Beautiful Peronican decor throughout the entire room and throughout the entire hotel. Little powder desk there, plenty of closet space, even like drawers and your own little sitting area to put your shoes on. I mean, ridiculous. Floor to ceiling windows and really high ceilings as well. So it's just really nice. It's just really spacious. It really feels very high-end, feels luxurious. You've got this living room here with a great chandelier. Again, these really gigantic ceilings, your own little bar, your own little sitting area, TV over there, plenty of space if you want to have a meeting, if you want to have a party, if you want to do a little bit of both. This is the study area over here, so you've got 2 chairs there. It's like your own little business center within your hotel room. This ridiculously long, gigantic, comfy leather couch here, I love it. It's just absolutely gorgeous and luxurious and super, super comfortable. So again, you've got the Peronican style decor throughout the entire hotel, but really nice here in the room. All nicely decorated throughout the room. And then lastly, head over here. This is your own boardroom or party room or dining room. You could have a giant feast here, you could have a giant party here, you could have a giant meeting here, you could have a giant anything here. I mean, it's 10 seats, a ridiculously long table. Again, the high ceilings. I guess these chairs over here are for like the other people that aren't important enough to make it here. But this can be used for events as well. They've told me they had different events. Companies want to come here, just hold an event during the day. It can be rented out for that as well. Anyway, thank you to Intercontinental Hotels. Thank you to Intercontinental Singapore for letting me show you guys this room tour. If you're interested in booking this room, interested in staying in this hotel, drop my name. You won't get a discount, but just, helps show that I have an influence out there. I don't, but it helps kind of make a perception that I do have an influence. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this room tour. Let's get into it. Let's talk about my final thoughts about the Leica M11 Monochrome. Let's start with the 50 Summilux. Listen, this is an unbelievable lens. It's not a Noctilux, but it's still ridiculous. And I actually like it better than the Noctilux just because it's smaller and I like that big heavy weight. That's why I buy an M system and M lenses, because I want something quite small in my hand. So the upgrades from the last one, I think they're significant just to be able to focus now at 45 centimeters compared to 70 centimeters. And with that little extension on the hood there, you see that? See how it works there? Whoop, whoop. It's really cool. And why that comes in handy for someone like me, as a professional photographer, I do portraits both for assignments and for my stories, so it comes in handy to be able to get really close to my subjects. I don't always want a portrait like this. Sometimes I want a portrait like this. So to be able to get closer, not just for people, but also for objects too. I mean, sometimes I'm doing travel stories. Actually, after this trip, I've got an assignment for the New York Times. There might be food involved. There might be detail shots I need. Just to be able to get closer opens up more creative possibilities for me. So the update here with the 2 extra aperture blades and the closer focusing, I think it's worth. I don't know if I'd upgrade if I had the last 50, but if I was buying new, which I'm strongly considering doing, this lens is great. This lens also comes in handy if you're a Q person with that 28. 50 complements the 28 quite well. So if you're like a Q person with a 28 lens, this actually complements it nice. If you have an M and a Q system, for someone like me who shoots with a 35, 35 and 50 is a little bit close, but I'm still considering it because I just like doing portrait with a 50, and I'm just trying to change it up a little bit and try different things with my focal lengths. So moving on to the camera, this is really what I was excited to test, and I'm glad that they surprised me with this camera. This is what I was hoping for. I've never used a monochrome camera before, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the experience. The only downside for me is that as a second camera, as a professional photographer, I always need to have 2 cameras with me, so if my backup camera only shoots black and white, that caused a little bit of trouble, so I'd have to carry like a Q with me, and then I've got 3 cameras, then I'm getting a little bit heavier and too much equipment with me. But as a personal project camera, or if you're an amateur and you can shoot whatever you want and you can shoot it how you want it, I definitely see the appeal here. Shooting in black and white just makes you focus and think in black and white. Yes, you can convert later. Yes, you can use in-camera filters on other cameras and shoot black and white, but I don't always have that discipline, and this camera will force you to be disciplined. You can only shoot in black and white. Plus, the files are gonna be better without that color filter in there. I know people can debate that online, but I've seen the files on my laptop. It's just so nice, and you don't have to do a lot of work on them as well. And then the low light capabilities, I mean, shooting this at really high ISO, it's exceptional. I mean, Leicas are exceptional at that, but just the monochrome experience, I'm really, really into it. This is something I'm really strongly considering. I don't know yet. I'm shooting with an M10D. This would complement that well in some situations. Or if I had a project that I was really focused on and shooting in black and white, and I really do love the experience of shooting black and white, I'd consider this. Again, I'm not gonna go through all the details. This camera is the same as the M11, except they've upgraded the storage inside, and again, it only shoots in black and white, but everything else is about the same. I don't know, I've enjoyed the experience. I like it. I'm strongly considering it. We'll see. Let you know in the coming weeks. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, thank you to Leica Singapore for loaning me this. Thank you to Intercontinental Singapore for putting me and my wife up during our trip here. It's been a blast. Sorry I couldn't take you and take this camera to Blackpink. They didn't allow me to. Bummer. But I got to take you on the streets of Singapore and I had fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to have a wonderful day. So, you're a Fuji shooter.
I am.
And what are you holding right now?
Leica.
All right, am I gonna convert you here to a Leica?
I think this is gonna be on my wish list too. Oh my god.
So visiting here from Indonesia, she's let me take a portrait of her and I'm letting her use my camera. I think that's a fair trade. How does this happen? It started, I was taking her photograph with my camera, now she's taking my photograph with my camera. The world of Leica, the world of photography brings people together.